What if they say my mother's a whore?
Well, is she?
Nice.
That's the line, right?
Roadhouse.
Holy shit.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Requiem for a Tuesday. Adam Pecora here with Justice
Chef Juice.
in the building.
PunchJustice.com. MicrowaveMinutes.com.
Who knows what it is?
It's both of the. It's all of those. That's it.
You'll never find it.
No. You can keep looking. No, but there's zines right now on Punch Justice. That's the thing.
Go check those out, ladies and gentlemen. Rate, review, and subscribe. Requiem for a Tuesday. We got big Roadhouse jam coming up in a couple of seconds here.
Yeah.
We got merch at rfat.bigcartel.com. We got
Go listen to the Dune episode.
the Dune episode was great.
The
Check it out.
Denis and David duo Dune. Dune's duo.
A true banger.
Trio. David and Denis.
A couple of legends.
Have you thought about it since the episode or what?
What do you mean?
Just Dune in general? You think
Yeah, it's good.
I think about it a lot.
I looked at the book.
Did you?
Yeah, there's some cheap copies you can get, but it's so long. There's no way.
You think they have them at the library?
Yeah.
Gonna-
I think they have a giant selling novel at the library. Yeah.
I'm on my way. Do you use the? Are you a member? Do you have a library card?
My library card just expired, and I have not renewed it.
Got it. They have a really nice one in West Loop.
There's nice libraries all over.
Yeah, that's just the last library that I went to.
I do know the one you're talking about, though.
Oh, it's so pretty.
Yeah, it's like right off Fulton, right? It's on Madison or something. Anyway,
yeah, Roadhouse.
yeah.
Most people know it because of Family Guy. I've been kind of asking around.
That's definitely what brought it to the younger generation's attention, I would say. That's how I found out about it. That was a legendary episode.
Yes, that's true.
It was a good one.
Yes. But wait, jog my memory. The Family Guy wrote. Is it a whole mock Roadhouse?
Yeah, kind of. And he keeps getting into fights, and then he just looks at the screen and says Roadhouse.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. What about the Doors song? You know, Roadhouse Blues.
Is that used in the movie?
In the original, in the 1980, is it 3?
I don't know.
In the 80s version.
It's like 89.
In the 80s version, the Jeff Healey band covers Roadhouse Blues.
Got it.
On the night that they have their big, it's like the transition from it being a scrappy bar to the successful bar because of Patrick Swayze.
Got it. I don't listen to the Doors. They're not good, so I don't know their songs.
I think I heard the song Roadhouse Blues before I saw the Family Guy episode.
But when did you see the movie? After all of those things?
Yeah, I saw it for the first time last year, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, that's great. Well, yeah, let's get into that. So the first time I saw Roadhouse, Buddy was staying over, and he's like, let's put on Roadhouse. My perception of Roadhouse was that it was like one of those unwatchable, terrible movies, like one of the worst movies ever, and the only value in it is ironic, and it's one of those. But then we watched it, and I was like, holy shit, this has been awesome the whole fucking time.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's moments that are definitely funny, but not on purpose, but you're not laughing at the movie.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It just still plays as comedy, and it worked out. It's not embarrassingly bad that I'm mocking it.
That's still also on First Take, right? On the first time you saw it, you're like, yeah, it's funny in weird places, but it doesn't take away from the movie.
There's a lot of weird moments, but that's what adds character to it, and that is also, here's the dumb little parts we can make fun of, but then look at all these amazing action sequences that are really top notch. And even on a technical level, though, it's really well shot. It doesn't have cheesy 80s camera shit where it looks like it's a fucking infomercial or something.
Right.
It's an action movie. They came to work.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
100%.
So I get it. Like, the perception of it at the time was just kind of like, yeah, this is just what the 80s are like in movies. So I feel like people were just kind of sick of, like, 80s action movies by then. Because I don't really see how this could not be anything but, like, a fucking
Well
banger.
received. Yeah.
Like, it's not supposed to be, quote unquote, like, artistic. It's supposed to be a fucking awesome time. You know?
1990. That's not Roadhouse.
Yeah, you're not good at using the internet. It's unbelievable.
No,
It's,
it was a screen cap. It was not the actual internet.
got it. Well, continue.
What there was nothing to continue. I was gonna say the, I think So how long ago was that also for you? Was that like 10 years ago at least?
No, that was like 5.
Okay.
4, 3, something like that.
I mean, I
went my whole life. Yeah, I don't know how.
I'm gonna work backwards from what you just said because I think that it definitely was past the tone of 80s movies in the 90s, in the early 90s. Like people were, I can get why it was like well received, but like it can be made fun of because I saw it as almost like trying to set this precedent of the new, like an action movie at the time, but because it had this almost like 80s camp to it, it was almost, it tried to take away from the fact that it was a really well put together action movie, but it didn't work because now that we watched it this many years later, I think that like it was spectacular.
Yeah.
Like I think that his acting was amazing. I think that the love interest thing was so well done. The whole doctor thing, like everything
That's
about
your
that,
dream. That's
everything
mine.
about that was amazing.
That's everything you've ever wanted in a doctor's visit.
Dude, what the fuck? When he rips the first guy that you see him rip the throat out of,
That only
she
happens
goes.
once. That only happens
That's
once.
true. That's true.
The first guy.
Well, it's somebody they touched upon it throughout the whole movie, and by the time it happens, you're just like you feel like you're in her shoes because she's like, "What the? You're a monster."
Yeah, right.
You're like, "Wait, is he a monster?" At that moment, but before then, he's this like, he builds so much in the
like
role.
Drive.
Yeah, it
Like,
does. It does move like, but it's long too. This movie's like long. That's the thing.
The original one? No, it isn't.
You think it's quick?
It's clean. It's like 100 minutes.
I think it's a little long for what it is, but it works. I just don't. I wouldn't have wanted it any other way.
That's
no,
the thing.
I guess I'm talking about the length too, because how short and fast the new one is. Like
You're
in
wrong.
comparison.
The new one is longer. It's significantly longer. The new one's 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Holy shit! And
Yeah.
how long is that? The original?
1:14. It's under 2. It's an hour 54, so it is a little long. You're right. I was off. But yeah, the new one is 2 hours. So it
That's
is
wild.
They're close. But the new one is longer.
Feels faster though.
Well, we'll get into that. We'll get there.
Yeah. I agree, but I just you care so much more for everybody in that cast.
There's a
and
lot more character development in the original Roadhouse than you would ever expect. Like, you kind of know everybody and, like...
Yeah.
I don't know. The fact that, like, he has, like... there's all these quirks in Roadhouse that make it, like, dynamic to this day. The fact that he is a philosophy guy...
Yep.
Who is, like, a Buddhist Tai Chi expert and but will kill people at a moment's notice.
Yeah.
Is insanity.
Yeah.
He lives above a barn with no air conditioning for $100 and drives a clunker. Like, I don't know. It's just weird. He just has no real purpose. They refer
the
to
piece
like,
about the clunker is that
well, he has his prize Mercedes that he covers up, but it's not that nice.
well
either way.
he only at the time it was a nice car. It's a decent car.
But not to like, I need to cover this up.
I think there's two parts for that. The first is that he definitely does, I know that you know this, but he does it because he doesn't want to fuck his other car up.
Well, right.
And so I think the other thing that I it took me until after, like, going through the whole movie to realize that, like, I think the reason why he seems like he's a little bit bougier to these people is because he's from whatever other city he's from, and they're trying, I think, the whole movie to make it seem like all these people in this town are not that good at fighting and also not very smart. They're all just fighting over territory for no kind of reason, you know? Because they never touch upon why, or at least I didn't pick up on why they wanted to be in charge of the Roadhouse in the first place, like why the bad guys wanted to get rid of Roadhouse in the first place. And I think that they didn't touch upon it a lot if they did.
The billionaire guy just wants to own it because he owns everything. It's like very loose, though. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah, right. But yeah, it's like a dumb thing.
The way that the townspeople are gathered together at the end and they're like, I didn't see anything, you know, like that. I was like, oh, these people have just kind of been a little not like.
Well, I mean, dude, it's literally a roadhouse in like rural Missouri. I don't think that there was ever.
Wasn't it rural Kansas City?
Do you know what Missouri is?
Oh, it was Kansas City, Missouri, not Kansas City, Kansas.
What do you mean rural? That's not a thing. You can't have a rural city. That's like.
But wasn't that where it was supposed to be? I thought it was supposed to be outside of or around Kansas City.
Kansas City's in Missouri.
Oh.
Either way, I don't know
it.
if it's outside of fucking Kansas City or not. It's an unnecessary sticking point for you to make.
I think that they said it at the beginning. I don't know.
It's in rural Missouri. That's correct. Like,
yeah. You're right.
There's no debate.
You're right. And he was supposed to be from where?
I don't know.
Damn.
I don't know if they say or not, but he's intentionally mysterious is part of the thing. But you made me lose my train of thought. Well, yeah, right. So no, they're not supposed to be smart. I don't know why you're acting like it's some like reveal that the townsfolk might not be too smart over there. It's a place where everybody gets drunk and fights and throws shit like idiots every night. Like they're not smart. They never were. And
you would think that all the people in charge were.
They're not good at fighting compared to the guy who's like the king of fighting.
Yeah.
But they all beat the shit out of the bouncers, or the bouncers are shitty.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, yes, it's weird that he comes in like. Well, this is a main difference between the two movies, is that it's about him whipping the place into shape in the first one.
Yes.
Like, he's basically taking over the full He's like John Taffer. He's like doing bar rescue. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that I agree.
But like also beating the shit out of people along the way. It's like
he just so happens to be trying to, disrupt the corrupted, people in charge. That's like a whole other part of it.
That's what he falls into in turn, yeah. But he's literally even like going up to the bartender like, you're over-serving and you're undercharging and blah, blah, blah.
No,
blah,
you're
blah.
skimming. That's what he does to the bartender. That's how he fires him.
Right. And then, all the back and forth. It's all great. Then the one bartender's just fucking some chick in like a freezer. He's like, I'm on break.
He's like, stay on it.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Really loved all of that.
Well,
like, those are the quirks that you're talking about that make it so dynamic. Is those things like firing the people? Everybody got fired for a different reason every time, generally.
Right. The place is just a complete nightmare.
At the beginning, he's like, "You're out of here. You suck. Go home."
Right. But then he in turn instantly made like a lot of enemies.
Right.
So then they all immediately. That's also part of it. After they get fired, they go to that guy and they're like, "Fuck this guy."
Yes.
That kind of initiates the whole thing. So that's also a big part of it. But who cares about that? And also they're just all these brawls in the bar. They're just endlessly watchable over and over again.
They're good fights.
And that first night he just watches it all happen just to like soak it all in. And then before you know it, the place is like in incredible shape like immediately.
Yeah.
Doesn't he even teach the one kid how to fight?
I think that he just gives him notes after every fight or something.
Yeah. But
it's not like a lesson, I don't think.
The whole be nice speech that we touched on in the intro, I mean, just classic stuff.
Yeah.
So
many good lines in this movie.
Hillbillies customer service.
It's a great piece of art for sure. You know what I'm saying? One of my favorite lines was, calling me sir is like putting an elevator in an outhouse. I was like, what the fuck is that?
That's rural shit, buddy. See,
It
you
was
don't
so
even get it.
good.
I mean, yeah, what more can you say? Just show me more tits like back in the day.
Yeah.
Wasn't there titties all over this movie? Pretty sure.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a lot of sex.
Somehow.
It was so fun.
Yeah. Oh, well, he just slams her up against that brick wall. Him and the doctor later on, once they finally hook up.
And at the cabin too, when he's railing that lady at the cabin.
Oh, maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, I think it's a wood. It's like log. It's not like brick.
I think I don't remember.
It's
Whatever.
a log wall.
There's a situation that seems it's violent.
It's
like,
crazy.
There's no way it
It's
would be good.
crazy that he pays $100 a month for that spot. It's so pretty and cool.
No AC, bro.
You would get one now, and I don't know. No AC. You're in rural wherever, who cares?
You've been to the Ozarks. You want to just chill like that?
For sure. I'm out by the water during the daytime, it's cool at night. Right? He's busy. He's at the Roadhouse all day. He doesn't need AC. The Roadhouse has AC.
That's, I guess, fair, but you're not where he's sleeping.
He's there till whatever a.m. in the morning, even as a manager. He's committed. He doesn't give a fuck about where he lives, but he pays $100 a month. Could you believe that?
Yes.
What is that in today's money? It's not even that much.
Probably be like $400
Yeah.
to live in a barn in rural Missouri.
You think it smells like farm?
Yeah, I know it does because it's a
Oh.
farm.
That's fucked.
Yeah, and there's mosquitoes and shit. You like mosquitoes in your house, in your bed?
I mean, I would keep a screen up everywhere there's windows, I would put the screens up. Even then, they had screens,
You'd have a screen bed like you're staying in Africa or something, so you don't get malaria.
surrounded by, you were talking about like a...
You're going to get West Nile virus sleeping in a barn, dude. Like, guaranteed.
They'll come up through the floorboards.
I remember I was like 12 years old and I thought I was going to die of West Nile virus.
Are you serious?
Dude, the news was like, it's fucking coming. Like, protect your kids.
Yeah.
And
it was
like,
very serious.
What? I get bit by mosquitoes every day. What are we talking about? I'm just going to drop dead?
Yeah, maybe. Do we get vaccinated for that, the West Nile?
I think it just went away. It was just fake. Nobody cared.
I remember hearing about it for a couple summers. I still hear about it every now and then, but there was one summer that they were like bug spraying us up,
Yeah. Get the DEET.
We were getting, yeah. That's when all that DEET came out,
And now everybody's anti-DEET. West Nile's coming back.
Uh-oh.
Count it. You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen.
Holy
Protect your
shit.
kids.
2024.
Buy all the DEET. Stock up on DEET. You're going to need it. When the mosquito hellfire rains down upon America, Joe Biden won't be there.
It's crazy in this movie. It's crazy in this movie how much they're smoking cigarettes inside of this place.
Patrick Swayze smoked 5 packs a day at the time, I believe it was.
What?
So I think he was just doing it. I don't even know if it wasn't even part of the scene. It wasn't part of the character. He just had a pack on him while he was acting.
That's crazy.
That's not true, but you know what I mean. You still time it out right, but yeah.
Jesus Christ.
He's smoking the whole movie.
Yep.
He wakes up in the morning and pulls out a cigarette.
Yeah,
in
he
bed.
literally does that.
It's crazy.
That's disgusting.
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, let me tell you, if you do it once in your life, it's pretty awesome. But like doing it as a lifestyle is horrific and not good.
Yeah.
But having a cig in bed one morning, oh, it's a good morning. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like the weekend in
if
Paris.
somebody bring me a coffee
Yep,
and a
yep.
flapjack and a fucking
I would be
Newport 100.
doing that. Yeah.
Oh,
I definitely understand that, but
stop talking about French shit on my show. Also. Paris is where you go. You're such a girl. Grow a fucking pair
what are you
of
talking
balls.
about? You would.
I wouldn't go there.
Yes, you would.
For free, I'd go there.
Well, not they wouldn't be free.
Correct, because they're scumbags. I wouldn't go there.
It's crazy how
I'd go to
anti-French you are.
I'd go to Cannes if we're talking in the film festival. Then sure.
That's
it.
Sure.
Otherwise,
yeah.
no France.
Not even like.
Or I'd go to Disneyland, France.
Is there a Disneyland in France?
Yeah, Euro Disney.
That's pretty sick.
It might be a Disney World in France at this point.
That's pretty sick. You think it's all in French?
Yeah.
That's so
it's in
cool.
France. That's how that works.
That's seems like a lot. I would need to learn French to do that.
I'm sure you'd love to do that, you little pussy boy.
There's no French in this movie.
Yeah, you're goddamn right. There's not.
It's an all-American movie.
Barbecue and bush.
I don't think they eat a lot of barbecue, to be honest.
No. Cigarettes and bush.
Yeah. There's no eating. There is eating, but when that happens, they're dancing.
And you're getting smacked. It's getting smacked out of your mouth or something.
Yeah. Imagine if they served food at Roadhouse.
So anyway.
At the Double Deuce.
Yeah.
Loved that bar. I would love to go to the Double Deuce.
Incredible bar.
Seriously. I would
But you wouldn't want to go to a Roadhouse ever.
Why not?
What do you mean? They're bars like off the interstate in the middle of nowhere that are big halls.
Wouldn't you go to a Roadhouse? You're saying you wouldn't go to a Roadhouse?
You act like we can't.
Can we?
There's highways everywhere. This is you know what I'm talking about? Like, yes, drive 2 hours south. I'm sure there's a Roadhouse somewhere.
Yeah. I mean, like, if we were to come upon a place like the Double Deuce in real life, like post
Look at what
Swayze.
happens at Roadhouses in popular culture. Roadhouse, throat ripped out. Twin Peaks, rape, murder, kidnapping.
Jesus Christ.
Like, you don't want to go to these places. They're both about how they're the seedy underbelly of society. And the worst, scummy, shitty people are there at all times. So no, I don't want to go there. I've been to Luke Bryan's. Thank you very much. It's all the same to me. I've been to Kid Rock's Honky Tonk or whatever the fuck.
That's kind of like a Roadhouse vibe for sure.
Yeah.
Are you saying that Nashville is comparably the seedy underbelly?
No.
Okay. Just those places.
Just calling a hillbilly a hillbilly.
Oh my God.
Anyway, so yeah, then as the weird conflict grows into like more and more ridiculous territory and continues to not make sense.
After the throat ripped out, it gets out of hand after that, basically.
No, that is that's the end of the movie. I'm trying to get there. Could you just hold on? When do you think that happens in the movie?
Like
The movie's over 10 minutes after that. He just like finishes fighting. The throat rip is the climax of the movie.
That's true.
So anyway, Sam Elliott comes through and kicks some ass as his partner,
Yeah.
and he's fucking awesome. And then it all just continues to make less and less sense as to why these people are upping the ante at each other so much. And then the Roadhouse is cleaned up, but by then everybody's mad, so then there's a huge fight. Sam Elliott betrays him, right? No, he gets killed.
Correct.
That's what happens. Which then leads Patrick Swayze to rip out the other guy's throat in a fight he almost loses in the craziest fucking scene. It's still startling even when you know it's coming, having rewatched it. And it's fucking awesome. I had no idea the first time I saw it, and I was like, holy fucking shit.
It was jarring.
Like, are you serious?
Yeah.
And it's like, hell fucking yeah, brother. I love it. Keep it. Run it.
Yeah.
And then after that, he just continues to go on a rampage and like kill everybody else. And then the doctor's like, "Wow, you're no better than them." And then he like spares him or whatever, or he still kills him.
The townspeople end up killing him.
That's right. Yeah, they gang up like
Yep.
Halloween kills.
No, they don't gang up. They show up with shotguns.
Is that what it is?
Yes.
Oh, I forgot.
They show up
Okay.
with shotguns before he's about to rip his throat out. And he hesitated because he was like, "Oh, my my lady already thinks I'm a monster.
Yeah.
So if I
Two
rip her
rips.
dad's throat out, this is gonna be even worse.
2 throat rips is too many.
for
Somehow.
the girl for
yeah,
sure.
One was the over.
Yes.
Yeah, we can't keep going.
So, but they show up and come in clutch. You know, they do the killing for him, so he doesn't have to feel that bad.
And he gets the girl.
They end up happy at the end. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
making out in a water somewhere.
Right.
Not like a bath, you know. It's like a lake.
A swamp.
So yeah, it's like but they're happily ever after. Love it. I love that ending for sure. It was great.
Great flick.
But no. Also, are you sure that it is Sam Elliott's killed and then he kills that guy, or is it flipped? Because they burn down the barn, and then they and as he's leaving, he runs to do it. I think that he kills that guy, and then they kill, because the lead up to Wade dying is that he gets a phone call, and this is after he kills one of his men. He calls him and he says, "Who do you want dead? My daughter or your friend?" And he's like, I don't remember what he says actually. I think he says his daughter. But either way, they fucked him over because they knew that he was going to go to the woman at the hospital, his daughter.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
And then they end up killing him anyway. They beat the shit out of him. They send his friend back to Patrick Swayze, but then Patrick Swayze leaves.
He rips the throat out, goes to the bar, and sees him murdered at the bar.
Yeah, he comes back after he
That's
visits
correct.
the girl because he's like.
But still, it all happens in about 10 minutes.
Yes, they're very. That's like all back to back to back.
Yeah.
Which is it just makes the
ending is insane.
It's such a riveting last 30 minutes of a movie.
It's so
like
crazy.
So good.
Yeah.
Cause like why it sucks because after that shop blows up, I think I'm missing a piece in between. But after the convenience store blows up, they like the thugs blow them up. They're all at the Roadhouse, you know. And because there's still like a town of people, they still have to act like nothing happened, which is so stupid. Like they don't know who did it, you know.
Right.
And it's like you just hate the villains or the antagonists so much more for those last 30 minutes. You're like, yeah, kill them.
Right.
Because they're just so crooked. And then
it's
the
truly
monster truck scene. What the hell was that, dude?
Jasper, Missouri.
Crazy. Absolutely insanity. Like that. It was a lot to handle, you know?
It was. Brilliant movie with just see what this is what I mean. Like really like rich, crazy shit going on. They really went for it.
Yeah, yeah.
And I respect that.
And the last couple scenes were just like I just think it was gorgeous, you know. It was such a pretty movie. Like even the car
throat rip with the lake shimmering in the background.
Seriously, like it's got this really like romantic thing about it. Even the car flipping and them like shoot. It's like they're playing duck hunt with a car for that shot.
Right.
It's like so well put together.
I'm not gonna look up who it is and what they've worked on. We don't need to derail this, but the cinematographer, I'm pretty sure, is like well respected. Like.
Yeah.
Like they legitimately had like an incredible crew to make this movie. And that's definitely what's always going to set it apart, you know. This very easily could have been that shitty B movie that's just horrible and nobody remembers, or it lives on as like a riff tracks.
Mm-hmm.
But it's so far beyond that. Like it really is honestly like a good ass movie.
I didn't know I thought for the first couple scenes that you saw the doctor, I thought that was I can't remember her name, but she ended up being this girl that was this lady that was in a Gus Van Sant movie, and that was like the one closest recommendation to Roadhouse. and I thought that it was crazy. It's called Gladiator. It's not the 2000 Russell Crowe version. It's the 1992 version.
Oh, did you think that I thought Gus Van Sant made the Russell Crowe Gladiator?
No.
Well.
Who made the 2000 Gladiator?
Ridley Scott.
Yeah, that's right.
They're making a sequel right now.
With the boy Russell Crowe. That would be so crazy.
I assume so. Yeah. I don't know. I
The
never saw
one-
Gladiator actually.
The one quote that I remember, like one of the top quotes that I remember. I'm just not good at pulling quotes from places, but somebody was like, "Where is that from?" And I immediately knew was "Are you not entertained?" I was like, "That's Gladiator," like immediately, and I don't know why. I haven't seen it that many times, But
Do you think that that's an anecdote? Because you could delete that from your list of anecdotes.
what's an anecdote?
Perfect. All right, let's move on to the new Roadhouse, shall we?
I guess there's not much to talk about.
All right. Whoa.
Wait, I do remember what
You just took a shot at the new one right off the bat? That's how we're going to start
there is
this?
something. So I guess one of the original producers or writers is trying to file a lawsuit against this one, and then the guy that directed this one, the new one, is mad that it went to streaming only. He wanted it to be a wider release.
Well, we can go into that if you want. Yeah, so, well, here's the thing. It's Doug Liman, who is known for being a chaotic and pretty much unreasonable director, but he ends up making pretty good movies a lot of the time.
Oh, cool. That works.
But he has done this, and he has done similar things like this before. He basically, I don't know why they allow him to do stuff like this, but when they were making Mr. and Mrs. Smith, for example, which he directed.
The show or the movie?
The movie.
Okay.
Jesus Christ.
It's a show now.
He's
on
a movie
Amazon
director.
Prime.
We're talking about movies. Why would I be talking about a show?
Don't movie directors sometimes make shows?
It's called context.
What? Sorry.
Yeah.
Anecdotes and what? Just keep going.
I'm
Please.
trying. Stop interrupting me. What the fuck? He was like, yeah, we'll have Brad Pitt. We'll have this movie done by August, so you can film Ocean's 12. And then he was just like, yeah, no, we're not done. So they had to shut down production of Mr. and Mrs. Smith and resume it like 8 months later, and it cost like $40 million extra or something crazy.
That's Jesus Christ.
So anyway, what happened with this one was Amazon said, we'll give you $65 million and it can be a theatrically released movie, or we'll give you $85 million and it'll just go to streaming. So they took the $85 million and they knew what the deal was the entire time. And then when the movie premiered at South by Southwest and people went nuts, he took the opportunity to act like it's a crime, it's not coming into theaters, which I do kind of agree. I think it would have made a fuck ton of money. So it's probably a mistake. I don't know what the fucking streaming model is, if this is somehow going to make them more money. I have no fucking idea. But I think it was a mistake, and I think it would have been fun to see in theaters. But they knew is the point. So he can be as mad as he wants. He took the deal.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, he can be as mad. I don't think he should have put it on blast like that then.
That's what I'm saying.
That also makes
But
sense.
it works because in your case, you just heard that he's mad about that, and it's easy to get behind that because you're like, yeah, put it in theaters.
Yeah.
So it did work.
Yeah.
But it's just like, if you know what I mean? I just happened to read the follow-up articles that were like, actually, here's the truth.
Right.
But yeah, I'm sure a lot of people didn't find that out. Either way, like, it should have been in theaters. I agree with the sentiment. He just doesn't really have an argument.
So we fast forward, however many decades later.
Literally 35 years. 35 years, excuse me.
92, you're right. Sorry.
What?
The original came out in 92.
89, which would be 35 years ago.
Right. 89.
What the fuck? Go ahead. It seemed like you were taking it and running with it.
I thought I didn't want to interrupt you. I don't know. You could go into it.
Okay. This guy, ladies and gentlemen, he's out of control. Coffee and weed mixed together with him, you never know what you're gonna get. It's like it's like a Drano bomb. You remember those?
No.
What? You guys never made Drano bombs? All right, never mind. I never did that either, actually. What am I talking about? So, Roadhouse. Okay, Jake Gyllenhaal, instead of being a weird... Okay, here's the other thing we didn't mention about the first one before I actually start, is that he's somehow just renowned across America as a great bouncer.
Like the greatest.
Which is the dumbest premise of all time. They could have come up with something better than that.
Mm-hmm.
That's my biggest criticism. The new Roadhouse does do that at the very least. Oh, disgraced UFC fighter. Makes perfect sense.
Sure, yeah.
Now, this is also, however, the major difference between the two movies, where Patrick Swayze was the gentle soul who murdered someone in self-defense, I believe was the backstory, right? Which is kind of why he sought this like Zen, non-violent ideal for himself now.
Yeah.
Gyllenhaal is not redeemed in that way.
He's disgraced.
He's just disgraced, has not found a Zen thing. I mean, kind of, right? Like, he has a friendly, personable demeanor like Swayze did, but it's not because he meditates or is into yoga or any shit like that.
No, he's like burnt out.
Yes.
It seems like.
Yes.
It seems like this happened, the death involved in the new one happened more recently than the one in the 80s, you know?
Well, it's not just that. It's that he basically is an unhinged guy who cannot control his anger and will have violent, murderous outbursts if he's provoked.
Yes.
Which technically is what happens to Swayze, but that's not a part of his personality.
Yes.
It's just he literally gets pushed to the limit because they kill his friends and shit. Like, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Gyllenhaal is technically just a psycho trying to get his shit together.
Yeah.
So that's the big difference. He's not this, like, professional, I'm going to clean up your bar. He's literally like, this guy's super dangerous, so people are going to stay away from him.
Yeah, he kept both of the characters didn't really want to do it, but chose to because it was like, I guess it's seems like the right thing to do.
Here's the other difference. So let's get into it. Gyllenhaal is at some underground fighting ring where Post Malone is reigning supreme.
Yes.
In the middle of bumfuck Florida, it seems like.
Yes.
Gyllenhaal steps up and he's like, I'm not going to fucking fight that guy because basically if you know who that guy is, you know that he murdered someone in the UFC in the ring.
Yes.
Which is what they reveal later. Spoiler, whatever. We're doing the whole movie. You shouldn't be listening if you care. It doesn't matter. It's fucking Roadhouse. Like, watch it. There's no surprises here.
Yeah. But they set the tone for that right away because you're immediately learning something about this guy.
Yeah, you can tell there's a reason to be afraid of him. Now, you might just assume it's because
he's cut like stone.
Dude. Yeah, I told a coworker, I was like, it's crazy just the shape he's in. Like, you could wash clothes on those abs. It's nuts. And his cum gutters, dude, solid right angle L's. Like, unbelievable. It looks like they stamped him into his body.
Yeah.
The guy's cut.
Yes, he's cut, and
then a guy approaches him, tries to rob him with a knife, stabs him, and he's just like, "You made a mistake." Fucks the guy up. The guy just runs away in fear. Then the lady approaches him about being the bouncer at the Roadhouse, and she's like trying to big dog him.
Mm-hmm.
And realizes that he's just like self-treating a stab wound and isn't interested in what she has to say like at all.
Mm-hmm.
And she immediately realizes just how tough he really is and that that's definitely the right guy for the job. Like you said, he rejects it. Then
they're not initially interested. Yeah.
Then plays a game of chicken with himself by parking his car on some train tracks tries to put it into gear at the last second, fails, gets hit by a train, and survives and decides, okay, well, that was fucking crazy. Should probably get a job and get my shit together.
Yeah. Because he
And
still...
stop scamming underground fight ring losers because I'm getting stabbed and this is stupid and I'm miserable.
Yes.
Drives out to the Florida Keys. Beautiful setting for this movie. Makes a lot of sense. Nobody fucking knows a thing about the Florida Keys unless you live there, I imagine. I don't fucking know anything about it. I know I want to make the drive on all those highways that connect them because that seems fun as shit. Very scenic.
Yeah. Oceanic.
Now, he pulls up to a small town, instantly befriends like a family that runs a bookstore for some reason, just to have a side plot, I guess. The other one was so rich in side plots, I feel like they were just like, we need to have one in here.
Something, yeah.
But here's where the other major difference.
It did make it feel more desolate because there was less going on in this
they're
movie.
like, this is also a shit rural town. Like, it's the same thing. This place is shacky.
Yes. The other one had like different, just like such different settings. You were like kind of getting lost in where you were going. Like it dragged. This one was like you were at the boat, which was his house. You were at the roadhouse, or you're at the bookstore, gas station.
That's true. That's it.
You know.
Well, you're secluded. You're on a tiny little key.
Yep.
You know, it's a tight knit.
He's walking
shithole,
everywhere.
basically.
He doesn't have a car. You know.
Right. And then, this is where the other difference comes in that he is not whipping the business into shape. The only problem there is that a real estate guy who wants to buy the roadhouse as the last piece of thing he needs to buy to build like a resort.
It's also his kid that's in charge of it or something, right?
Well, correct. The kid is the one running the operation. So what's happening is he's just like sending goons to the bar to cause a ruckus all the time.
Yeah, he causes ruckuses. That's what he does. That's what he's known for.
But Gyllenhaal is not there to like whip the business into shape. His job is squarely like fight off these lunatics and like clean the place up. But like he doesn't need to whip the bartenders into shape. He only needs to train the other bouncers because they're just overwhelmed.
Yeah.
They're not also scumbags. Like
Yep.
in the original, the staff is also the problem.
And they
not
do
the
get
case
better
here.
over time, but they do start off as being kind of scummy, you know?
Right. Well, the shitty ones just leave.
Yeah.
And fight against them. But right, correct.
And yeah,
the ones that stay get better. But here, they're just amateurs and he helps them.
His bouncers in this one are just like ready to help, you know. They also want to be better at their job.
Yeah,
you
everybody
know?
just wants to not get stabbed at work. Like
Yep.
everybody's on board for this.
Jack Gyllenhaal definitely teaches them how to fight.
Now, I kind of don't
More in this one.
I kind of don't like this because it just has less story.
Yeah.
So the length of the movie does kind of get more noticeable because he's not doing as much. It's just like, okay, fight at the bar. And so in turn, there's less fights at the bar because the staff isn't involved in the plot.
Yeah.
So it's a little less at the roadhouse than I would like.
Yeah.
It's more about the overall scheme
thing, yeah.
of the henchman, or not the henchman, the son boss guy, than it is about the roadhouse itself. So that is a critique that I have. Then, basically, he's kicking the shit out of everybody. It's awesome. He beats up a biker gang, drives them all to the hospital after, still being a friendly guy. All
so
that
funny.
Shit. Very
so funny.
good. The guy from Broad City is very funny in this movie. That's what he's from, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
But no, he crushed it. That was a great comedic relief every time.
Absolutely. They recreate the doctor scene then at the hospital. That's like one of the only things that's almost identical to the original movie.
Iconic.
They
I thought
even
it was great.
reuse the dialogue, I think. Like it's almost line for line.
Yeah, he gets the I thought you'd be bigger, right?
Yeah, all that type of stuff, right. And then halfway through, it's like literally exactly at halfway.
One quirk about the 80s version compared to this one is that he brings all of his medical records, and they touch upon that, and they don't in this one.
Well, because it's modern times.
And
every doctor has everyone's medical records,
right,
via the internet.
So I just thought that was really funny, and like,
but yeah,
it
that
made
was
for more
hilarious.
conversation, and it made us it made me more invested in their like chemistry.
She just goes, "You carry those with you everywhere you go. Saves time." Or something like that. Like,
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
So yeah, you do miss out on that. Gyllenhaal's still funny in this, I would say.
I love
overall.
his
I'm a
performances
Gyllenhaal
all the
guy.
time. I
Yeah.
think he's always got a comedic thing to it, and it's perfect. And he only touches upon it when he needs to. You know,
I do say
he makes goofy faces.
I do say he does love to be the mentally ill guy, and like it's unnecessary for this movie. Like, it does add to the character, I guess, but if he wasn't crazy, it would also still be fine. So then after that,
he does always play like ill somehow.
After that, the guys try to attack him at the boathouse that he lives in, and he feeds him to a crocodile,
Amazing.
which was fun as fuck.
Yeah.
So then at that point, the dad calls down to the son, and he's like, "You fucking suck at this. We need to get this shit going. I'm calling in Conor McGregor." Now, Conor McGregor, obviously not an actor. I feel like people are being way too harsh on his performance in this.
Yeah.
Because they're like, he's a cartoon. It's like, yeah, it's Roadhouse. Like, what are we talking about? I think he's playing exactly the right level of insane. The guy's a complete unhinged lunatic. I think it makes perfect sense. I think he fits right into this movie, and I think he jumps off the screen.
I didn't know that he was even getting roasted in the first place, because I think that was a great villain, like great bad guy. Because at one point he's also nobody likes him.
Nobody.
You know what I mean? Like,
He's
everybody's
just
like,
so
"Oh my god, this
unstoppable.
guy's insane," and you're like, "Yeah, he's been insane this whole time."
He's
like,
a pure agent of chaos, and that's it.
It's amazing. His opening sequence when there's just fire behind him and he's putting on a jacket. You're like, "This is amazing."
It was awesome.
But yeah, I didn't know that he was getting roasted for that, and I do see it kind of. It could be considered cartoony, but
that's the movie.
it's that is how I feel like they return to the roots of what the movie is, because they like you said, they only kept like the love sequences kind of like the same, less sex.
No
You're just
sex,
more
basically.
You're more worried about like the character kind of as much as you were from the original, but in a different way, and
Right.
it works really well. I think like the fact that it was like Boat or Roadhouse and not enough Roadhouse. We were, for the time taken away from Roadhouse, we were looking at him going through issues, and
Yeah,
it was a lot.
It was a lot more serious in tone.
And also the whole side thing with the gas station and the bookstore is that he was getting local research done there, which was really good, and it made it make sense that he kind of had an edge on people all the time. You know, the fact that he knew that the local government was involved, like. Or the police and stuff were involved, like that whole twist on it too. It made more sense for him to be that upset at all these people too.
And that gives the Swayze comparison too, where he was like a smart guy who
he
had
was
strategy.
mysteriously always had the upper hand, you know.
Yeah, he's well read, so that does carry over as well. But yeah, it needed McGregor to be cartoonish because, like you said, without the sex and the goofy staff people and all the little grudges,
Yeah.
there's a lot less comedy going on for the most part. It's tonally just less silly.
Balancing. Well, I think it balances it. Yeah.
That's what I mean. Without McGregor being like that, this movie is not as fun. It loses fun.
If the people
and
that
it
hired
becomes
him,
the gritty reboot, which we're past that.
Yeah. You're right. We didn't need a gritty reboot. But if the original, like, if the people that hired Conor McGregor didn't get like also freaked out by him, it might have been too cartoony. But because that happened, it just elevated his like how crazy he was becoming.
The flaw with that, though, I will say, is that like the son never stood a chance, which is kind of dumb. Like, he's not a threat remotely through the whole movie, so he's kind of useless.
That's true.
So that
He
I
sucks.
think is
That's the
dumb.
worst part about it. I wish it was just like a different guy in charge, not the guy's son. Like that, I never cared about who the father was in the first place.
That too, it means
You know,
nothing.
like,
yeah.
it's
It's
just
some rich guy. Cool.
Right.
That's
and
meaningless. Whereas in the original, it was just the rich guy is the villain.
Exactly.
You have more reason to hate him than just some punk kid.
But the punk kid too, like also like he never was like, I don't know, he just wasn't like mob material.
That's
you know?
what I'm saying.
And
yeah.
it was like not.
But it's kind of accurate for the time. Like that's what like a millennial mob guy would be like. Just
That's
completely
true.
incompetent trying to he'd be Kendall Roy.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? In
But
crime.
even Kendall Roy had his shit more put together than this guy. Like this guy was just like
no, he didn't. No, he did not.
did.
That's wrong. Kendall Roy is a complete incompetent loser. That's his whole arc. Anyway, that's not important.
Oh yeah, he does like drugs and shit.
He's a complete
awful.
failure.
I
what are you
forgot.
talking about?
I
I'm
forgot
the
for
eldest
it.
boy.
Yeah,
like-
what the fuck? Dude, he was anyway. So yeah, this guy, I don't even remember his name. He played it. I mean, it was a good time for when you were like at his mansion that had like people living there. It was just like it was hilarious at certain points. You're like,
when
dude, this guy's pathetic.
McGregor just takes over his life. And then so that's the other thing though that makes this movie kind of interesting that I wanted to get to. The things in Roadhouse that make it what it is, like we talked about, are that it's so it has all the quintessential things of the 80s still in it while being a good movie, right?
Yeah.
But it is like it has all the beats of a classic 80s action movie. And so it's like a perfect like microcosm of the time, like pop culture of the time.
Yeah, great fashion.
So I think in a weird way, this movie also does that for this time in having bad CGI in all the fights and stuff. The CGI in this movie is unnecessary, number one, and bad, number two.
Yeah.
Kind of like you would say gratuitous tits and shit. Like stuff that didn't age well that was super 80s about Roadhouse.
That's a really good point.
I feel like they intentionally put bad things about 2024 movies into this movie so it would represent movies of this time.
That's really
my
hot
theory.
take.
That would be a lot of foresight, and there's a chance that it was all an accident, but that's what Roadhouse was too.
Yeah.
Roadhouse was an accident. It's not supposed to be funny at all.
It's not supposed to be still relevant either, and they just made
Correct.
a fucking new one.
Correct. Now, I don't know if this one's going to hold up over time or anything like that, but I do think 35 years from now, if you watch Roadhouse 2024, you'll be like, oh yeah, that's what they were doing back then. They were putting this really bad CGI into everything for no reason.
Yeah. I think that those fights were great, and I totally saw that.
They were great. A lot of great camera stuff. So Doug Liman's incredible.
Yeah.
Like he's done amazing action movies, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, Born Identity, Edge of Tomorrow. Like the guy can shoot fucking action. And all the fight sequences are incredible, even with the CGI. The first person stuff that happens sometimes is really fun.
I think it happens like only once or twice too, and it was good.
Like,
it was so good.
And it just has this chaotic, frantic energy that's really, really fun.
Yeah.
And
that's why it felt fast to me for sure.
And it's always juxtaposed, kind of like in the original, with these like silent moments of like light dialogue, and then it's pure chaos for 5 to 10 straight minutes.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. I thought this movie was a blast. And then at the end, McGregor steals a fucking yacht and drives it into the building, and they just have a crazy brawl. And the jarring ending in this one, not a throat rip. He just stabs the fuck out of him like 200 times. It's crazy.
Yeah. I thought he was going to lose several times.
Yeah.
Like, seriously. I thought he was going to die a lot. Like Jake Gyllenhaal's character. Connor just like never died. That was his whole thing.
Connor is so much more jacked than he is in like fight time in this movie. Like he looks like a wrestler.
Yeah.
He's like so unbelievably jacked that it's unnecessary. That
It
it's kind
works.
of weird. Like technically Gyllenhaal in the movie looks more like a UFC fighter. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or at least like the weight class McGregor should be in. Like he's not in that weight class. You know, he's like jacked.
Yeah.
So that's an interesting juxtaposition as well.
He always just wears like board shorts too. It's like it's incredible. He's
he
always
looks great.
ready to fight, and it's like you're just like this guy's not gonna die. Like,
I'm a
there's no
McGregor.
way.
I'm a fan of McGregor in this movie and Gyllenhaal in this movie. I thought him and the doctor was dumb, and like, the sheriff's daughter thing again, like the stakes just weren't there. They did like the kidnapping was fake, and then he's like, no, we actually kidnapped her.
Yeah.
But then they just get right out of it. It's like, I don't know, it was a cool thing to blow up a boat for sure.
Yeah.
And then he saves her, but like there was never stakes really for that. It was just McGregor versus Gyllenhaal was the only stake the whole time.
Yeah.
Which I guess was true in the original. You never really felt like Swayze was going to lose up until the throat rip fight.
Yeah.
When
that was the
when
only
he was
time
getting
when
the
I
shit
thought
kicked out of him.
that was the only time that I thought that he was going to lose, and he didn't. And it, like you said, it was definitely like the pivotal moment of the film, because then he's just like on a rampage. He's like,
yeah, and that's
he has no tolerance for these people anymore.
He had a speech like that at some point in the movie when they showed the UFC kill flashback thing, and he's like, I can only be a nice guy for so long, and then once I get angry, like, it's gonna be bad.
Who does he say that to, though?
I forget.
It's to the guy. It's to one of the guards at the house. He shows up and kills.
That's right.
He lets him die in the pool.
Yeah.
And it's like that.
And then he just goes on a murder spree.
But that was less. I don't remember exactly where it was that he turned. What made him like completely mad?
They blow up the bookstore.
That's right. That's right. They blow up this for no reason too.
Well, because to hurt him.
Right.
They know.
And it's like
just like in the original. It's the same type of thing.
It just
when they blow up the barn.
It made less sense to. It's just way more. It's a horrendous thing. I don't know in either way, but like.
The violence is too much for you.
It's just too much.
Why would you hurt anything?
It just doesn't make any sense.
Why would you
would
hurt
do
a
that to
small
their
business?
store? Yeah. Why would you hurt a small business?
Yeah.
At least in the other one, it's just a house. Just kidding. That was a joke.
Sure was.
But yeah, like he has to carry this guy out. This one is just like, well, now we're all fucked for groceries or whatever, books and stuff.
Okay. No, it was to piss off Dalton, but what they didn't know was that was the wrong move, and then he goes on a rampage, and then the boat crash, and it's great stuff.
Yeah,
I had a blast.
It just really ramps up. I guess I was trying to really think about like when everything turns, but everything continues to get worse and worse, and he finds out more and more, and it's just like it's kind of got like they're like. So they're running drugs through it too, or something, or they want to build a resort for this one. What was the whole reason?
Whole thing. Yeah.
Okay, they wanted to build a resort.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. So they need to buy the roadhouse so they can raise it and build the thing over it.
Right.
All in all, I had a great time. Now, obviously, I like the original better.
Agreed.
Like significantly, I would say, but it doesn't mean that the new one isn't also a ton of fun.
Yeah.
It's just two different vibes.
What would you rate this one out of 10?
Like a 6.5 or 7, maybe.
And what about the original? Like an 8?
7.5, 8.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would do an 8 as well.
Yeah.
Honestly. And the new one I would do like a 7.
Yeah, like it's still fun. It's just pick your poison. Like I can definitely see myself watching it again.
I'll watch both of them again for sure. If they had a back-to-back feature at a theater, I would go see them.
Yeah, absolutely.
That'd be so fun.
Well, also just like, you have some people over, let's put on Roadhouse. You don't really have to watch it. You can just kind of drink and talk and have fun and like.
That should be the vibe. Yeah.
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 It's
a Roadhouse party. It's those two movies back to back enough for the a good time.
Right.
Have like a 20-minute intermission for everybody to.
Well, I was just saying the new one. That's just my point. Is that like I could see myself rewatching the new one either way.
Right on.
Like I said though, I think if it was in theaters, I think it would have made like $200 million, and I think they made a big mistake.
Hot take.
I would have seen it in theaters for sure.
Right on.
And that would have been even more fun.
Yeah.
Or like significantly more fun.
Would they?
I
don't get that.
I don't get why. Well, I mean, technically, I guess, but now it's already too late. Now they wouldn't make money.
Exactly.
I think even if they would have done simultaneous release, it would have made decent money. I just don't get why exclusive to streaming is the thing. Again, they signed the deal they signed, whatever. But
yeah,
I would have liked it.
Right on. I would have too. Honestly.
Yeah. Anything else to add?
I think that they would make a sequel.
Oh, that would be a mistake.
I think that they would,
That would be bad.
given the context of the release situation and also the fact that he just leaves, you know. You see him leave.
Yeah, they have to do the next one in like Japan or something though.
Yeah,
They need to
international guy.
Make it like
yeah.
the White Lotus, where he's going to just like different exotic
Him
locations.
being a disgraced UFC fighter makes it feel like the next one could be about him returning to the
and
light.
that's the difference too. Dalton in the original, nationally known.
Yes.
Dalton in the new version, internationally known.
Yes.
Or make him go to Hawaii at the very least, Mexico, like something.
I think that he would have to come back and run the Roadhouse, the new Roadhouse, once they decide to turn it into whatever they want to turn it into, because now they have it back and they have this money, you know, and like I think that it would be about corrupt powers still trying to take the Roadhouse, and he'd be like, well, everybody loves me now, so you better stay away, you know, like that sort of
So
beat.
you want the same movie again?
Yeah, I think that. So
That's silly.
and I think that to your
they
point,
just did that. It's called Roadhouse. You
I
can
know, I
watch
know.
it. Like, what are you talking about?
you never know.
The sequel should be the same movie.
You don't think that there's a
No, it's over. That's it. They did it.
right on?
Why would we do Florida Keys Part 2? Same villains. Like, what?
They do that, you know.
Yeah, those are called bad sequels. We don't need it. I hope they don't do a sequel. This
Right
was enough. Let's remake it again in 35 years. That's what we should do.
Right on.
And update it for whatever the world is like then.
So what's on deck these days?
What, like coming up?
Yeah,
I have no idea.
yeah. I was gonna
We'll
say,
see. I think I'm going to watch that pedophile documentary about Nickelodeon, maybe.
yep.
And
Yep.
that'll be a dark one, so I'll get some good material out of that.
I'm not gonna watch it. I can't. I don't know.
Well, yeah, we'll see. It might be too bleak for me to discuss.
It seems bleak from what I've seen.
Yeah, but I don't mind ripping it to shreds either way. That would be fun.
Yeah, yeah. It could, you know, maybe I've seen an episode, and I gotta say, it's not. I could you could rip it apart for sure. It's sad. Ultimately, it's sad. You know, we've just been on such a high note for the show. Like, it's hard to go down to like a documentary thing. You know?
A lot of good stuff's been coming out. Yeah, we'll see. I'll figure something out. We'll see what's up. There will be some episode next week, ladies and gentlemen. Please tune in.
This time next month will be the first episode of Microwave
No,
Minutes
it
to
won't.
listen to.
No, it won't. So don't,
Yes, it will.
don't listen to that.
Mark my words.
Check out all the links in the description below. We got lots of good stuff for you. Check it all out. It's fun.
Microwave Minutes.
Yeah, whatever.
420.
Rate, review, and subscribe to Requiem for a Tuesday. Be back next week with some goodies. And remember, I are fat. You are fat. We are fat. Calculator.